Whoa, whoa. I don't know this might be a little bit hyperbolic, but I don't know if I've ever heard a woman speak this way about women to women. So as I was scrolling the internet looking for videos to review, I found this channel, and the name of the channel sent me I was triggered. I'm not gonna lie. I'm, I'm not gonna lie. The name of the channel was the Happy Wife School. And what immediately came to my mind obviously was, oh, happy wife, happy wife, happy life. That whole saying. When I don't, well, I don't agree with it, and I don't disagree with it either. The point being, if you are with a woman who is miserable, you will be miserable as well. So there's truth to it, but I don't like the I don't like what it says in terms of it basically leaves the responsibility of the wife's happiness to the man. So I decided to check out some of her videos, and whoa. I don't know this might be a little bit hyperbolic, but I don't know if I've ever heard a woman speak this way about women to women. This is a channel that's she does have a lot of male followers. There's a lot of men commenting in the comments, but the area of instruction is supposed to be giving instruction to women, but it turns out it's more or less a big validation, a large amount of validation coming for other men from the things that she's saying. So this video that I'm going to review here today, it's the 5 reasons why your wife is no longer interested in sex. And again, I had preconceived notions of what she was going to say. If you have been with a woman at all, you know accountability is not their strong suit. So I was not sure what she was going to say, but in listening to it, kind of just jaw on the floor, like, you mean there's a woman that actually gets it and admits it and is willing to admit it publicly? Whoa. Unfortunately, guys, she's already married. She's already taken. So no dice there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the 5 points. Now I'm going to combine her first 2 points because they're sort of related. So we're going to go over the 5 reasons why she says wives are no longer interested in sex with their husbands.
Why, as women, we lose interest in sex once we are married and we stop wanting sex. But the first reason, number 1, is every time we have sex, we feel like we're giving another piece of ourselves away that we don't have to give. Feel like we're giving a piece of ourselves away, and we feel like an object, and that our husband is just taking something from us that isn't there to give in the first place. And the reason that we feel that way, that we're giving that piece of ourselves away, is because it stems from our disconnection from ourselves. And it stems from our unhealthy relationship with ourselves, which is that disconnection, which is what I call being unhappy. No one's home. No one's in here. We're not connected to ourselves. So we have nothing to give. And from that place of being disconnected, that place of being unhappy, we are drained and we're empty. The second reason of why we lose interest and stop wanting sex in our marriages is self-punishment. Number 2 is self-punishment. I don't deserve anything that's going to make me feel good, because we feel so bad about ourselves on the inside. We are so insecure. We pick ourselves apart. We are constantly comparing ourselves to other women and their lives and what we think their lives look like. We tear down how we look physically and just beat ourselves up. And we know this as women. We know this, and we can put a facade on and pretend we don't have this. I was real good at that. But if we get really honest with ourselves and we shine the flashlight, we will see how bad we feel about ourselves. And then we withhold and deprive ourselves of anything that will make us feel good.
All right, so number 1 and number 2, like I said, are sort of related. Number 1 was giving a piece of herself away that she doesn't really have. And what surprised me the most was her admission that the reason for that stems from the woman's own disconnection from herself, which is the main reason why she's unhappy. And the second part being the self punishment. So she tears herself down, doesn't have self confidence. Now, guys, we've all met a woman that when we met her, she was sort of already broken, right? She either had daddy issues or she had issues from the previous relationship where she did not view herself in a positive light. I do not understand why anyone, man or woman, would want to start a relationship while they are still so scarred from the previous relationship. But in today's world, especially in dating apps, that's what you're going to find. People are lonely. So I don't blame them. At the same time, there's a lot of broken people. Now, the part where they're disconnected from themselves and being unhappy, I like what she has to say, obviously, as a man, in the terms basically what she's saying here is that it's not the guy's job to make you happy. It is your job as the woman to make you happy. So if you meet, I mean, if you are unhappy from your previous relationship and you meet a man and you task him with being the reason why you're going to be happy, what's likely to happen in the beginning of that relationship is you're going to put that man on a pedestal and you're going to praise him for everything he does. And then slowly but surely, as the relationship goes on, you're going to start knocking them down. And we'll get into that a little bit later at number 5. But those two, just right off the bat, just to hear a woman speak like this and be willing to say, we know this, women, we know that this is true, truly refreshing. Now on to number 2. Well, number 3, if I can count.
Number 3, we need to be in control. As women, once we get married, we get older, the more and more rigid we become, the more afraid we become of life. And we start to grasp and clinch on very, very tightly and trying to control everything in life. And sex is a relationship and a context in life that threatens that sense of control and makes us feel like we are going to lose control. Because if you're going to have fun and enjoy sex, you got to loosen up a little bit. And we don't want to lose that control. And we feel we lose the spontaneity and the enjoyment and exploration that we had when we were younger with sex. And so we don't want to loosen the reins and actually enjoy sex because we're terrified of losing control.
Now, number 3 is the woman wants to be more in control. As she gets older, she wants to be more in control. And to not put too fine a point on it, yes, I absolutely agree. Now, I don't think that that's necessarily only women. The things that I know in my life as I've gotten older, as an example, I've had dogs my entire adult life. And each time one has passed away, including I lost the dog a couple of weeks ago, which is why I haven't made as many videos on this channel. But as each dog has passed away, I know I will step up what I'm doing for the dogs that are remaining in the absence of the dog that passed. So dog passes, and I kind of want to have a little bit more control over, okay, well, I'm going to do this better. I'm going to stop doing this. I'm going to start doing this. So while I agree with what she's saying, and it might be more applicable to women in terms of relationships, I think in general, men and women, as we get older, we see the mistakes that we've made and we want to have a little bit more control over the outcome, which we don't have. That's an illusion. I think that's the biggest thing, is that if you can, as you age, if you can realize that control is an illusion, that we just lie to ourselves, that we have some sort of control. Well, we do a little bit, right? I can feed the dog crappy food or good food. There's some control there. But generally speaking, life is going to come at you fast and hard, and it's life is just going to life. On to number 4.
The 4th reason that as women, we lose interest in sex and we stop wanting sex, we never learn to enjoy it for ourselves in the first place. That's number 4. We never learned to enjoy it for ourselves in the first place. We had sex for all the wrong reasons. We used sex as a weapon and a manipulation to get men or to get our needs of feeling wanted and liked and accepted and loved met. And we had sex for the man. We did what we thought we needed to do that they like to get them. And we never stopped to think, what do I like? We put on a show and we think, oh, I need to be like this woman, or I need to be like what men see in porn. And we start to put on the show and we're never true to ourselves and we never really learn what we like. It's about knowing yourself and what you like. And for us as women, we're so messed up around sex. Men understand sex for what it is. It's a physical experience. It's an enjoyable physical experience that we were made to have. And we have all the right parts to enjoy it and for it to be pleasurable. But as women, we make it emotional and we make it about love. I made sex about beginning a relationship. And that if and sex meant relationship and sex meant love. We cannot be further off from that.
Number 4 is an absolute beast of a monster of a monstrosity. They never learned how to actually enjoy sex for what it is. And again, I like what she has to say. Men have it right, where sex is a physical experience to enjoy. And when you're married, you're enjoying it with one person. Every man within the sound of my voice has either currently or in the past been with a woman who makes it all about the emotions. And what happens is that as you are in the relationship longer, we're going to get into number 5 and it's going to all make sense. But as we are in the relationship for a longer period of time, they are less and less attracted to us and they're more irritated by us, making it harder for us to quote make them happy when that really isn't our job in the first place. So as they get unhappier, they're going to withhold sex. They're not going to be interested in sex, and they never really learn to enjoy it properly in the first place, because everything that they are told from the beginning is sex equals love, sex equals a relationship, etc. Now, it might be a little bit different with the younger generation. It might have gone over to the other side a little bit too much. It is a balance. It absolutely is a balance to insinuate that there's no emotion involved with sex. That would be foolish as well. At the same point, some women never learn to even have sex on their radar unless, as I would like to put it in my previous relationships, unless there's sunshine, rainbow, unicorns, and flowers, and it's all perfect. If everything is perfect for the previous 48 hours and you manage to say the right thing, then maybe you get lucky. Most guys probably find themselves in that situation if they're married.
Number 5, this is the most important because this is the core issue. The 5th reason of why women lose interest in sex and stop wanting sex once they are married is we have weakened our husbands beyond the point of being attracted to them. Number 5, I'm going to repeat it because it's the most important one. We have weakened our husbands to the point of no longer being attracted to them. That's what happens, ladies. When we emasculate our husbands, meaning we shame them, we make them wrong constantly, we nitpick everything that they do. We tell them, give them the message constantly how they are not good enough. We are constantly trying to change them. We treat them like children. When this is how we treat our husbands and we emasculate them, all those examples, that's how we emasculate. We strip our husbands of their sense of being a man and weaken them and make them a shell of a man. Of course, we're not attracted to them after we do that to them.
Number 5 is one that I think all men can speak to. They weaken the man to the point where they're no longer attracted to us. And in fact, the opposite ends up happening. They find us repulsive. Now, I'm going to tell you a personal story that it may not sound like it's that harsh, but it's not that harsh because as men, we're supposed to not care. We're supposed to not have um, we're supposed to not have the feelings that sometimes we do. So the story goes like this. Last summer, I was writing a book and I was going through a bunch of my old pictures. And I had pictures from when I was 15, 16 years old. And I was a good looking kid. Let's put it that way. I was a bodybuilder. I had the long Miami Vice hair. I was a good looking dude. All right. And so I had this one picture that was particularly nice. So I put it in the book. Now, I have other YouTube channels and whatnot. So what I did was, as a teaser, I posted the picture of my young self at 15, whatever it was, to Twitter, and I posted it to the community post. And what I did not do was show it to my girlfriend, because I kind of had a sense like, I don't think I'm going to like what she has to say. I was just sharing, hey, I wasn't always old with a white beard and a bald head. This is how I looked. So inevitably and invariably, I did not get any negative comments. I got, hey, dude, you look great. A couple of the women were making comments, man, you were hot, et cetera, et cetera. It was all in good fun, but it was nice to look back and reminisce, right? So after about a week of that, I finally got up the courage to show the picture to my girlfriend. And my instinct was correct in that I probably shouldn't have done it, because what she said was not anything complimentary. She looked at the picture and she said, "You look just like Mark Killenwater, who was her elementary school crush." That's what she had to say about this picture that everybody else had complimented me on, but she's in a relationship with me and I look like some other guy she had a crush on. Now, again, most guys would just fluff that off, and I kind of sort of did. But the point is that those are the kinds of things that men, excuse me, that women, they might not even realize that when they do that, they're just weakening their husbands. They're cutting their man down. They just can't bring themselves at that point in the relationship to give the same compliment that a passing stranger or a YouTube follower might give. And what ends up happening is exactly what she's saying here, is that eventually you're repulsed by that person. That you lose, as a man, you lose the things that made you attractive to her, because when you first met her, you were setting boundaries. You were telling her, this is how I am, this is how I am not, and you were setting the structure. And what will happen when you're in a relationship over time is the woman is going to poke holes as often as she can and find the weak area. She's going to Jurassic Park you, okay? She's going to test the fences for weaknesses. And as soon as she can exploit one of those weaknesses, she's going to come barreling through that. And eventually, your box of barriers and boundaries looks a little bit tattered and torn. And before you know it, it's crumbled down. And she's the one in control, to go back to number 3. And you repulse her. Is that how it's? Yeah, you repulse. She's repulsed by you. You get what I'm saying? So everything that this woman is saying, I can relate to, I have experienced, and I'm curious to hear your experiences in the comments. Now, as I read the comments on her channel, it it seems as though, guys, if you are somebody who feels like any of these things apply to you, you might want to go check out her channel and subscribe to it. I'm going to leave a link in the description. It's that good. I've watched about a half dozen of her videos, and most of the time I'm just sitting there with my mouth open, like, I can't believe there's a woman that is saying this. All right. That was it for today. I appreciate if you get any value out of these videos. Do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, share the videos if you think that's appropriate, and I'll see you next time.